Welcome to Centauri Stir Fry here, how the heck are you? Today we're looking at the Sideshow Collectibles premium format. This is the Deadpool, this is the Uncanny X-Force edition. This is a variant of the original red costume, a little cock in his hand, you know, bullet base, everything. This is just a very simple blades. I mean, he's got blades because he's on the team, yeah, Uncanny X-Force. The reason I'm bringing this thing out, even though it's been done to death, is first of all, I'm adding it to this room here, and second of all, I just saw that Deadpool trailer and it was pretty freaking funny. He had Colossus, he's back, you know, he's getting Say Anything, little speaker. He's getting his butt grabbed and everything. It's pretty nice. And then you got Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She's back. It's great to see that. There's some additional mutants, and I think you even have like some classics like Bridge. Everyone was waiting for Bridge to show up. Bridge is here. Sweet. What's that guy? Shatterstar might be involved. Man, but does he have 3 fingers though? Is he from the Mojoverse? I don't know. But, you know, even though I'm not a huge Deadpool fan, I did grow up during that period, and I was into New Mutants and Cable and all that crap. And the reason why I had to get this is because I love, you know, I like the 90s, man. I like the 90s, and I got this. This is the first CGC book I ever had. I got this about a year or so before the first Deadpool movie. I was kind of late to the CGC graded game thing, but I saw that it was, you know, obviously the first appearance of Gideon, which I was super excited for. It's also signed by Rob Liefeld, one of the greatest artists for our time. And the coolest thing about it is that everyone has feet, and they're not off page, right? They're not off panel. It's pretty cool. They all have feet, except for these close-ups here. But they all have Domino, Gideon, and Deadpool all have feet. Drawn poorly, but they're all there. And that's a rare occurrence. That's a rare Liefeld gift. And I think if anybody is after this, you might be overpaying for the first appearance of Deadpool, but you're getting a bargain for Gideon and all these feet. But it's cool to also have that one interpretation of Deadpool is cool, but that's not the one I really like. What I really like is this right here. This is why I like this statue. This is why I bought this statue. I don't have a red version. I want this one. And that's because it comes from this. It's the Uncanny X-Force, written by Rick Remender, drawn by Jerome Alpeña, and there's several cool covers and some intros by Asad Ribic, who's also done Thor God of Thunder, which is a great book. And I think this thing is awesome. Originally, I think I read a couple issues, and the rest of it was done on tablet. And then I was like, no, screw that. I got to have the omnibus. And this is very awesome. It's a great book. I know it's kind of expensive now. It's a little pricey. You don't need this. You can pick up single issues, trades, little hardbacks. In any form, read this book. This is a great X-Men story, a great Deadpool story. Plenty of heart. It really gives this guy 3 dimensions, man. He's not just poop fart jokes. He's actually got humor, a moral code. He's got limits, and it makes him a very likable character. So before we get to the close-ups, just oh shoot, can't touch that. Not without a gauntlet. And I sip from the Mars Attack Club. Now I'm ready. This is a great piece. There's lots of cool things. There's sculpting and there's mixed media. So all the pouches, the 90s pouches are all sculpted. There's magazine pouches everywhere. He looks great. But let me bring something to your attention if you think about getting this real quick. And I really like it. It's great, man. We'll get closer and we'll get a little better look at it. The swords look shiny. I mean, he's looking great. And he's really kind of a compact figure, so you can. He's weighty, but you know, but he's compact. I like the base better too, the X-Force base. The old one had like a but anyway, whatever. I digress. Something to bring to your attention, okay? This is very important. Now, pay attention, guys. Very important. Now, what you're going to look at is these loops here. There's like a faux leather loop right here. They attached all the pouches here. And these shafts, okay, they slide in there, right? They slide in there. But you'll notice that the tip and the end is quite a bit thicker in diameter than the shaft. So it gets kind of rough. So what you want to do is you want to push it in there. You want to take your time, fellas. Take your time. All right, you got all night. Don't rush anything. Just push it in there. Ease it in there. Just take your time. Take your time, man. Take a few deep breaths. Ease it on. Just take a break. Ease it in. Put on some Barry White. Maybe light a candle. Just take your time. Sometimes the help of machinery, you know, a little Merrill aid or of some type. Okay, here's the Sideshow Collectibles Deadpool Premium Format X-Force Edition next to the Blackest Night Batman Pop. The paint is kind of sloppy, really. I mean, I do like the idea of just a reverse X symbol. Usually it's red with black on inlays or whatever. And this is kind of like the X-Force symbol. I do like it better than the bullets. I know. Call me crazy. But I think I like it a little bit better than the bullets. But what I really dig most of all about the statue is the just the shadowing. I mean,
Look at the buckles. Look at the boots. I mean, they're a little silly, but look at these old booties and all the buckles. The 90s were about buckles, booties, knives, pouches, backpacks. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's the back side of them. Looking pretty cool. Like what I mean, like the costume, the creases, the shadowing, especially like near his thighs, and even as we get up to his back, it's very cool. It's just like very well shaded, I guess. I don't know. You see a little bit of that reflection in there. The swords look great. It's just, if you get really close, there's some like, I mean, seriously, like a freaking millimeter. Some bubblage. But that's cool. It's a little mixed media knife there. It's actually kind of cool, man. It's like nice little leather strap there. Some buckles. I think they did a really exceptional job with the mixed media. It's very nice. That's fragile. Be careful. That's why I had the hairdryer. Really cool aspect of the mixed media is how it's, I guess, I'm sure it's just glued. But like you got the classic Deadpool symbol there by the crotch. Instead of like, you know, like a black or whatever it was, I forgot almost. You've got the X-Force logo there, which actually is pretty cool. And this part is sculpted, this part's sculpted, and this is all mixed media. These little pouches can actually be moved around a little bit. They can be repositioned, like here. Like so. Like that. So they slide up and down. However you want to do it. But, yeah, they look great. Pretty well done piece. I mean, it's very simple mixed media, but I think it works pretty well. And it's cool that it's mainly the pouches. So, the musculature is awesome. I'm sure that goes for either one. I just prefer this paint scheme and the shading on this one. But, man, look at the muscles, man. I mean, this is like nearly perfect. He's kind of a little dude. Like, he's not a big guy. But, yeah, okay, so right here, these things are right here. These little silver buckles or loops where the sheaths go down into, like this part. Really need to be careful with that. That's the part that breaks. That's, if you're not careful, that's what you need a hairdryer for. Maybe like a water gun with some boiling water in it. Whatever works. But the stitching's cool up here. Like I said, the folds and the shading is very well done. The arch in the back's cool. Those blades are looking good as hell. I mean, really, Cable started the very first classic team where they kind of melded, like Cannonball, Boom Boom, with some of these new guys, you know, like Warpath and all that. And they made the first X-Force team, but the second X-Force team with all the black, you know, the costumes, which is what I'm talking about, that was developed by Cyclops for some hardcore Black Ops stuff, which Wolverine went along with, but then he later realized that that's not good. The sword's grabbing the fabric. Anyway, I gotta say that I love the sculpt, I love the shading, I love the eyes, I love the whole concept of the Uncanny X-Force. It really hasn't been the same since this one. I mean, they gave it back to Cable and they had Forge. I like Forge, I like all the characters, but it didn't feel the same. Didn't feel like they had the same mission. But I think if you can pick a piece up for a reasonable price, in my opinion, this is the Deadpool to have. Do yourself a favor, read Uncanny X-Force, and you'll find out yourself that he's a very well-developed character in that storyline, and not just nut jokes and shit jokes, which I enjoy too. But I think that's going to do it for this episode, or whatever you want to call it, this video. I don't even know what to call these things. Where an old man rambles about crap, but I can tell you right now that you need to spade neuter your pets. Alright? And then after that, remember, Magneto was right. You'll see.